Hi, I'm Florie Bourrel from Mazars USA in New York City. We are here today to interview Jean-Paul Conoscente, who is the CEO of SCOR in the US for the property and casualty entities, and this is as part of our thought leadership with the Economist. So could you let us know in short about SCOR history in the US?
Operation started in the 1980s, and SCOR has been a company growing in the US very strongly in the 80s, 90s. And then at the time of the World Trade Center and the crisis after that, shrinking down to a very small footprint and rebuilding again around 2006, 2007. And since that time, we've been growing very steadily to a position where we are now, one of the big players in the US.
So, what is, according to you, the key success to your presence in the US?
Well, for us, as reinsurance is really a long-term play, it was important to show clients, US clients and US brokers, that SCOR was here for the long term. And so, as we rebuild the team, we had to rebuild our credibility. We had to show that we were there to try to partner with them on the long term. And so I think one of the keys was to be very patient, start slow, grow step by step, not try to be too big too quickly, and regain the confidence of the clients and brokers.
So Jean-Paul, could you let us know what are, according to you, the major differences between the US market and the European market from the insurance industry perspective?
So the main difference between the insurance market in Europe and the US is the size of the US market. I think when we operate in Europe, we have no idea the number of clients, the geographical spread of the US insurance market. In Europe, through Solvency II and through some of the measures before that, a lot of the bigger companies acquired small companies, and so the number of actors has been reduced over time. In the US, the same is happening, but to a much lesser extent. There's still a lot of regulation that protects small to medium-sized companies, and as a result, there's thousands of clients, sometimes that can be very large, who are completely unknown outside of the states they operate in. And for reinsurers coming to this market, it could be, of course, very attractive, and sometimes we get overly excited about the opportunities and aim for too aggressive growth. I think the key is to have the adequate staff to address that market and operate in a very systematic and step-by-step way.
So if you were to give a piece of advice to a foreign company who wants to do business in the US, what would it be?
So one piece of advice I could give a foreign company entering the US market is to make sure at the very onset there's a mixture of people coming from home office with the home office culture, as well as local people who bring the local knowledge and culture. For example, with SCOR, we see that the US mentality and the French mentality are very different, and it's very important to bring the two together so that any misunderstanding is resolved. As often happens, Americans respond to certain types of speeches and French respond to others, and having the two together and a management team that understands the differences is, I think, to me, a key to being successful.
So Jean-Paul, thank you very much for having taken the time to answer our question. It was very helpful, lots of insight. Thank you again.